Guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we're going to be taking a look at the stepper view in SwiftUI. Now, what is a stepper? Well, a stepper is exactly what it sounds like. It's a kind of view that allows us to adjust a value using up and down or increment and decrement buttons. Now, when we think about a stepper, it does differ based on the platform. So on iOS, it is a plus and a minus button horizontally next to each other. On macOS, it is two very small up and down increment and decrement buttons vertically stacked on top of each other in order to adjust that value. All right, so I'm going to show you what that looks like on both platforms. My goodness, excuse me. But let's kind of first discuss what the example that we're going to, what example we're going to use today. So in Xcode, I have a VStack and an HStack. So the HStack is inside of the VStack, where there's going to be a stepper and a text field next to each other. These are going to manipulate the same state variable that I already have, called scale. And when the value changes, it will animate the scale effect value of a circle that we have beneath the stepper and text field. And it's going to animate this with a spring animation. So let's get started here. Inside of Xcode, we're going to say stepper and we want label on increment, on decrement, and on editing change. Now, we're not going to do anything with on editing changed, because there's really not much that there's nothing here that we need it for, and because it's optional, we can leave it out. But our label here, we'll say, is going to be text adjust scale. All right. On increment, we'll say every time we increment the value, it'll be scale plus equals 0.25. And then on decrement, every time we decrement the value, it'll be scale minus equals 2.5. And then on editing change, we can get rid of this. Because we don't need it. All right. Now, when we run this on macOS, you're going to notice something odd. And that is, when we're in a form like we are, you can see that and outside of a form, our stepper has its label showing, and so does the text field. And that's not great. So what we can do is we can use the labels hidden modifier on the stepper to get rid of its label. So although it will still be readable by a screen reader, it will not be visible to those who can actually see the user interface. So dot labels hidden. Go ahead and save that. Run our code again. And here we are. So our scale is currently 1, and that means that our circle is currently a 10 by 10 point circle. If we adjust our scale, the more we adjust our scale, the larger the circle will get. And the larger the circle gets, the more noticeable the animation gets. And that's great, right? But we're going to bring this back down to 1. And then I'm going to change the value to, let's say, 25. And there goes the value. It's changed, right? Now, what if in Xcode, instead of 0.25, we say minus equals, let's say 10. And so now the scale will be increased each time or decreased each time by a value of 10. So here we are at a scale factor of 1. Let's adjust the scale here. Boink. And it goes right up to 11. We can do it again, and it increases yet again in size. Do it again, and it goes up. Do it again, and again, and again. And you can, so it just keeps going larger and larger. And then the more we bring it down, it'll get smaller. All right, so that's what it looks like on macOS. Pretty simple, pretty normal user interface in terms of what the stepper looks like and how you would utilize it. Most of the time you will be utilizing it with a stepper, using the stepper alongside a text field, even if the text field isn't editable by the user. Let's go ahead and take a look at this on the iPhone. Activity view, path. Let's use my phone this time. All right.
3:56 p.m. 3:56 p.m. 3 notifications. Instagram.
Okay, I'm gonna unlock my phone here. Let it kind of do its thing.
Social networking. Canvas.
All right, and now I'm going to mirror my screen here.
Dark mode. Switch button. On. Screen recording.
point screen mirroring. I want my Mac Mini. All right, so here we are. Here is my phone. The app's got to finish loading here. So we can see the tiny little circle in the center of the app there. That is our 10 by 10 points circle. And up here at the top is our stepper.
3:57 p.m. Cellular 404 part.
Right next to our text field. Now, of course, VoiceOver isn't able to go into the app quite yet, because it's still trying to load here.
Adjust scale. Decrement
Okay,
button.
there we go.
1. Text field. Double tap to it. 1. Text field.
So we have our text
Adjust
field,
scale. Decrement button.
adjust scale, decrement button,
Adjust scale. Increment.
increment. Let's increment the value.
Adjust scale. Increment.
And there goes our circle. It's increased in size pretty significantly. And the animation did go off. Let's increment that again.
Adjust scale. Increment.
And it increased in size yet again.
Adjust scale. 21. Text field.
So
Adjust scale. Decrement.
we can decrement the size again.
Adjust scale.
We can increment it.
Adjust scale. Increment. Adjust scale.
And it can just keep a going, keep on a going.
Adjust scale. Increment. Adjust scale. Decrement button. Adjust scale. 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 Decrement.
All right. So that is how the stepper operates in iOS. When you have VoiceOver enabled, the increment and decrement buttons act as their own separate accessibility elements rather than the stepper as a whole being its own thing, and allowing you to adjust the value using adjustment actions with VoiceOver, similar as how you would do with a slider or anything like that. You can see that it does look different than the macOS version of the stepper, and that's just how the design language works on iOS. It'll look the same as this on iPadOS, and watchOS is also pretty similar. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video on how we can use the stepper in SwiftUI. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.